Wes Anderson is a filmmaker from Texas, who along with his friends Luke and Owen Wilson make quirky, funny, and surprisingly heartfelt films. And if that sounds odd to you, well, here's 4 films by Wes Anderson. First up is Rushmore, starring Jason Schwartzman and Bill Murray. This 1998 film is a story about a young boy named Max Fisher. He's a student at Rushmore Academy who does so many extra activities that he's actually failing his main courses. And that's something that some people can relate to immediately, is that he's a young man full of so many ideas that he doesn't know what to do with himself. Yeah, that's not relatable at all. I feel like this is the one Anderson film that's actually firmly set in the real world. While there are absurd things that happen in it, this feels like what would be the start of many Anderson's films in terms of setting how his style would be from now on. It's clearly already in here, but you can see how more outlandish it becomes. So much to where I dare say that they are delightfully whimsical, which is something I normally hate. But I would definitely say to check this one out, especially if you're curious about an early chapter in Anderson's career. Next up is the 2001 film The Royal Tenenbaums. This one has more of an ensemble cast, including Gene Hackman and Angelica Houston. The cast is rounded out with Danny Glover, Gwyneth Paltrow, Ben Stiller, and of course the Wilsons. They're all part of the Tenenbaum family, a rich New York family, which has their own quirks and talents. And of course with that comes many family problems. This one really feels like another rough draft, like he's so much closer to what his style is, but this one is what kind of put him on the map. To me though, having this large cast kind of takes away from what could have been a really strong story, and it just doesn't quite work for me. It's not necessarily a bad film at all. It actually sets up what his style would be for later cinematic adventures, and a lot of people still like this film. Third up is a movie that I dare say that I loved. Moonrise Kingdom. And it's partly because it's the first Anderson film that I ever watched. And I watched it in 2021. That's right, I've never actually seen Wes Anderson's films until recently. Shock! Shame! Mediocrity! Anyway, in this mesmerizing and sweet film, 2 crazy kids in 1965 run away to an island. The whole thing is a hilarious romp and an adorable adventure. Whimsy and all. I highly recommend it, because the only other film that I can think of that he's done that even comes close is our last film, The Grand Budapest Hotel. This film fully solidifies Anderson's style, storytelling, and the fact that he loves to use this strange, almost alternative history. Well, it is alternative because some things just aren't real in it. And of course he has established this in his other films, but this one, it's par for the course now, along with his use of high society hijinks. It is beautifully shot, and again a very sweet and very real story. It's about remembering our past and how it affects our future, and about how friendship and love never changes. It's just one of those films that you need to see. The only negative would be that, much like his other films, it may come across to people on the surface as being very pretentious and boring. But that's only if you're not paying attention. And just like everything else with a particular style, it doesn't mean that it's for everyone. It's just not going to appeal to some people. But I have to say, as far as his career goes and all his films, they just seem to get better and better. At least they do to me, even though I am very, very new to his style. It can instantly get a grip on you, especially if you like it. And this whole time you've probably been wondering, well, Zack, what happened to your head? Well, I can explain. Hello? No, I'm sorry, I can't help you with that right now. I'm trying to do a skit from a Wes Anderson video. Wow, New Mexico you say? I'll have to get back to you on that. For one to do a proper Wes Anderson skit, one will need the following items. 1. A Sony Handycam circa 2004. It may have lost all relevancy, but it's still a family heirloom. 2. A Swiss Army knife handed down from a father figure. Most likely they're deceased and their death was so traumatic that it haunts you to this day. 3. An emotional support Godzilla. Just because he's king of the monsters doesn't mean he's not king of your heart. 4. Gauze, because God knows you're gonna receive some kind of injury, especially in a Wes Anderson film. And 5. An autographed picture of Mandy Moore, because sometimes you miss her like candy. This is a lot of pressure. I need a breather outside. Wow, Some kind of Skywalker Texas Ranger. And now you know the rest of the story.